Hey, welcome to Amp Up Solar Talk. Today we're spotlighting something close to home, our very own retail store. Joining me today is Clay, our retail store manager, and he'll be sharing what the experience is like shopping in store rather than online and how that experience is different. If you're watching live, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. We would love to hear from you and stick around to the end. We'll be requesting your input on some exciting news. Clay, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Kelly. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation. So let's start with the basics. What is the Signature Solar retail store and what makes it unique?
Yeah, so the Signature Solar retail store is really, one of the first ever solar storefront retail experiences that you can get. We tried to cater the store to make it a hands-on experience for our customers, being able to walk in, see things up close and personal, and just kind of cater to their needs. A lot of solar before the retail store came along was just an online shopping experience. And so I think kind of with the store lies, more of a personal connection with our customers, which is really what we try to provide in the store.
Very cool. So if I'm a customer visiting the store for the
Mhm.
first time, I'm walking in, what is my experience going to be like?
Well, first of all, you'll be greeted at the door by myself or one of our other associates in the store. We can take you around the store and show you what we have going on, and then we kind of just dive into whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to work on a specific project or if you need some troubleshooting, whatever it is, we're going to help you out and try to get that solved and get that taken care of for you.
Cool. So what would you say would be the main difference between going into the store and then shopping online?
The main difference is I think that hands-on experience.
Hmm.
When you shop online, you're trying to match connectors and batteries and inverters and all these things together. Kind of think of it as like you shop online for clothes and you get your pants or your shirt and then you get it home and it doesn't fit.
Hmm.
So our thing is to make sure that it fits and that it fits your needs. When you leave the store, we want to make sure that you have everything that you need and everything that's going to work for your project. And if it's something that we don't currently provide, we're going to send you in the right direction to be able to get those things.
So I can get everything that I need for my project right there in the store for the most part?
For the most part, you can get everything you need for the
Mhm.
solar setup, from panels to inverters, batteries, cabling, and everything else in between.
Everything that I could find online at Signature Solar, I can find at the store.
Exactly. Yes.
Very nice. So when people come into the store, do they typically know what they need or do they heavily rely on your team for guidance?
Some do, but I feel like a lot of people know which direction they kind of want to go in.
Okay.
And then once they come into the store, we can really help guide the path and make it clear for them as far as, some people want to go completely off grid. Okay, well, let's look at, our off grid section and let's figure out which inverter is going to work best, which product's going to work best for your needs. So I would say there are a few people that know exactly what they want, but for the most part, they have an idea. And then once they leave, they're like, okay, now I really know what I want. Yeah.
Mhm. Do you ever get those people that walk in like me sometimes that say, "Oh, I'm just looking"?
We do.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, if they've wandered into a solar retail store, they're going to have a bit of an idea of what they're looking for.
Okay.
So we'll probe, but at the end of the day, it is a laid back environment.
Mhm.
We're here to support, and so that's really what we're trying to accomplish within the store and the customer experience.
Sure, and you guys do a good job with that. Are there any common misconceptions that you guys have been able to help clear up in person?
Yeah, so there's a few different misconceptions. A couple of them could be product related. A lot of people, if they're brand new into the solar area, they think, oh, I want a week or 2 weeks of battery autonomy.
Mhm.
Well, it takes a lot to get there, and we
Yeah,
don't all have, endless pockets to be able to afford that.
yeah.
And so I think that is a big misconception. But what we do is we can point them to say, okay, well, this setup provides this much battery autonomy. And so as we cycle through each day, we're able to do what the system's supposed to do, but you can also expand,
Mhm.
as you go along and build out your system more, you can add more to that system.
Right. So
Mhm.
understanding exactly what the battery does for your system has been something that you've been
Exactly.
able to help explain.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What about products? As you look online, sometimes it's hard to understand fully what the differences are between products. Would you say that there are products that are easier to understand about them, seeing them in person than purchasing them online, maybe?
Uh, I mean, I might be a bit biased, but I think everything's a little simpler in person.
Okay.
For the overall experience, some people want to be able to load up their products and take them home. So it's something like, okay, I don't want to have to deal with a freight company. I don't want to have to deal with shipping. Um, a pallet of panels is going to be easier just to load up on a trailer in the bed of your truck and take it home. As far as like understanding how products work, I absolutely think it's a better experience in store, because we can show you like, this is where your PV wire wires into. This is where your
Hmm.
battery connectors wire into. You need these certain terminals. You need these certain lugs with this certain size stud hole. So we can go through all of those different aspects.
I think it would be nice just to be able to ask your questions right there and get them answered immediately.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good thing. Yeah. We all like that instant gratification. So being able
Yeah,
to ask and then just have that support right there is a good thing. Yeah.
right. What about customer success stories? You have any stories of where you were able to solve a major issue for a customer, or just really know that you helped that customer greatly?
Yeah, so we've had a couple of examples. We've had a few examples. Of one that comes to the top of my head though is, we get quite a bit of RV traffic coming into the store. They're
Okay.
traveling. They know that Signature Solar exists. They know we're here in Texas, so they stop by. And we had a customer come in, and he had a solar ready RV, and so he's like, "It's not working. Like, what are we doing? Where can we go from here?" So we go outside. We look at it. We see that he has one 100-watt solar panel on top and then a small battery. And we're like, well, that's not realistic when we look at, what load you're trying to power and all of these things. So he came back in, we kind of drew up a plan for him. He ended up getting, I think it was a 6000 XP, a couple of rack batteries. He had a perfect closet to put it into. He gets those, he leaves. About 2 weeks later, he comes back into the store and he's like, it's all hooked up. And we're like, how's it working? And he's like, well, I haven't turned it on yet. He's like, I'm scared to turn it on. And so our training department is attached to the store. And so our training
Hmm.
manager, Mike, and then we had a tech support guy come over, and they looked at it. It was all hooked up correctly. So we fired it up and it was working right there in the parking lot. And that was really cool to see.
What do you think he felt like when that happened?
Oh, he felt great. He has a
Yeah,
working solar
yeah,
system. We were here to help
yeah.
him out and get it going. And so I think he was excited. He was ecstatic. He was ready to go. He's like, all right, it's time to go camping, man.
Very nice. I have a solar ready RV, but it's been really hard for me to figure out exactly what that meant for our camper.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm glad that you guys could help him
Yep,
figure that out.
exactly.
Yeah. Um, Talking about education and talking about Mike, talk to us about how education plays such a big role in what you guys do.
Yeah, so we attached to our solar store, we have our training center.
Hmm.
The training center is going to be for any of our customers, anybody that wants to come in from a solar basics class to mini splits to inverters and battery hookups. We have these free classes. You can actually go onto our website and find the free classes and sign up for them. And then, you
It's
know,
on live training and events.
yeah, I think you go to the programs tab and then you go to trainings and events and you'll be able to see all the events. So they're all free. I know Mike, our training manager, does multiple classes every week, including Saturday classes. And so that's a core piece of what the store was kind of created for, is that education piece.
Hmm.
Um, solar can be intimidating for a lot of people. And so when you can walk in and you can have that real-time support, you can see, you know, how everything works, and that it's not this, I mean, it is a large project, but it's not as daunting as you thought. And you can do it yourself. So that's what we're there for, is to either empower you to do it yourself, or if you're hiring someone else out to do it, that's completely fine too. But we can tell you exactly, what you would need.
Yeah, so you guys not only support DIY customers that are trying to learn how to do it on their own, or off-grid people that are doing
Hmm.
RV stuff, but also installers.
Hmm.
How does that look different for each customer?
Yeah, that was one of the things when we were first creating the store. We're like, how does this look? And I think that's one of the things that I'm kind of proud about of where we've moved the store into. You know, we're not a specific to one customer store.
Hmm.
Our DIYers, they can come in, they can get hands-on equipment, we go through safety, we go through the trainings, all of those things. For our installers, it's, you know, they want that reliable but fast service. They want to be in and out so we can schedule their pickups, have them ready for them. If they run into a problem on a job where they just need to grab a component, they can run into the store and grab one off the shelf and go. And then for our kind of off-grid enthusiasts, you know, these are the ones where these are the ones I really enjoy working with, whether it's a hunting cabin, an RV, you know, all of those things. Uh, we have a good product selection for them. We're in the process of expanding that product selection to truly make it a one-stop shop for those customers.
So you can serve anyone
We can
with
serve
whatever their needs
we
are.
can serve anybody, anywhere. Yep, as long as you're willing to drive to Sulphur Springs.
Right. What's one common mistake that you see a new DIY person making, and how do you help prevent that?
Let's see. I would say just overall sizing the system. Obviously, like, it helps when you come into the store to bring as much information as you can with you into it, just so we can kind of see what's going on. I would say what we see is there are people that come into the store, they don't really have a lot of information, or they think that they need, you know, a few panels, 4 or 5 panels, or they think they need 50 panels. And
Mhm.
we're like, okay, let's look at all the things that go into this, because there's a lot of factors. There's peak sun, there's all of these different
Mhm.
equations that you can go into making a system correct for your needs. And so I think that that's one of the things that we do well in store is really diving into what the customer's needs are and what they're wanting to accomplish. What's their goals with their system?
Would you say that with helping people design and figuring out their needs, that you guys also provide some troubleshooting for systems as well?
We do, yeah. We provide troubleshooting. So we have a direct line with our tech support team. We have an area in the back where we can do troubleshooting. If someone's purchased an item from Signature Solar, you know, you're able to bring it in and we can test it out, whether it's hooking a battery up to an inverter or testing out a battery, you know, whatever it might be, we're able to accommodate that. I would say to schedule those first, because we do
Mhm.
use some of our tier 2 techs that come over. So they're on phone calls and they're booked a lot of the day. So if it's on the schedule, then it's a lot faster process. We're still going to get to you if you come in, but it just might take a bit to get a tech
Mhm.
over. But we do absolutely provide that service.
So you're collaborating with multiple groups across the company. What about the design team?
Yeah, absolutely. We collaborate with design as well. We have a designer on our team that's kind of dedicated to walk-in customers.
Mhm.
So, you know, if someone comes into the store and they need permitting or diagrams or those type of things,
Mhm.
interconnection agreements, those type of things that they're dealing with, we'll send them over to design. You know, we
Okay.
can we can design the array size and the
Mhm.
battery bank size and all of those things, but the design team is really specialized in that other area.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do have a few audience questions come in. Mark wants to know, do you have a lot of production in stock? And is it better to call ahead if I need a system for my work shed?
Yeah, so we have so the store is actually attached to our distribution center. So
Mhm.
everything in our warehouse we have availability to, from all the panels to all the products we do. We have more than what's just on the shelves in store. I would say if it's something that if you look on the website and it shows out of stock, call in and we can just confirm that it is or not. But feel free to call in anytime if you have a question or want to just check something for sure.
Okay. And Marvin Calendar wants to know, do you get a certificate after your classes?
It's a really good idea. Currently, we don't give out certificates, but we might in the future now that you bring that up.
Yeah. Thanks for the idea. Stephanie D wants to know, are you going to continue selling Schneider products?
um, Currently, I think the answer is no. I can't speak as to the the future. That's a bit of a different department that does the purchasing and everything. But right now, I don't know if it's in the plans to keep Schneider or not.
Okay. Mark also wants to know, where is Design located? Is it close to the retail store?
It is right across
Mhm.
the parking lot. So if you drive into Sulphur Springs, you'll see Signature Solar, two large buildings. We actually used to be in where we're located is an old mall. That's the distribution center. And then directly across the parking lot is a strip mall, and Design Center is right there, and it's labeled Design right above the door.
Okay. So someone walks in to the
Mhm.
store. They think, I think solar's cool. I really don't know that much about it. I want to do a beginner project. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
What are you going to tell them? What advice would you give them?
So I think one of the cool places to start is in our training center. We have a solar basics class. It goes through all the basics. I mean, from seriesing to paralleling to all of those different concepts, which would then kind of open up the ideas of, okay, what could I do? Could I, make my gate solar powered, or make some lights outside my house solar powered, or maybe I want to go with a mini split. It's a simple installation. And so I would recommend going to the solar basics class first. And then, of course, I mean, we can walk around the store and just look at kind of what we have going. We carry like the Anchor products, like the solar powered generators and power stations, to solar power coolers and all of those things. But that's kind of the advice I would give.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the things that you're most excited about the retail store? And do you have any exciting news or updates that you would like to share?
So without sharing too much,
Okay.
I know we're doing some updates on just the overall layout of the store. We will have more live demos that are in place that people can come and look at and see. So currently you can come in and you can see certain units that we have live, and we can walk you through like the app, some of the settings, not all the settings. That gets into a bit more on the tech support side, but we can look at just the overall layout of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that,
That'll be great.
and yeah, I think that will be cool. And then in the future, you never know, but there could be some more Signature Solar stores in other places.
Wow, very cool. We do have a couple more questions coming in. We have one from Mark. He says, could I show up with my camper, have you look at it, and then get a solar kit to install on it?
Absolutely, Mark. Bring it on. Bring your camper up. We would love to take a look at it and see kind of what load you have and what you're using, and we could definitely set you up with something.
We've even seen campers in our parking lot for weeks on end where people are installing components that they've bought here at
Mhm.
the store. We also have another question that ask about the Family Fork Fest this weekend. Um, what events on the website do we have for that?
Oh, the Family Fork Fest. Okay, yeah. So we are going to have a booth at Lake Fork this weekend for it's a large fishing tournament, and they have a family fest that's going on down there. So if you're going to be at Lake Fork or in the area, stop by. We're going to have certain batteries, especially it's kind of going to be catered more towards like boating and the off-grid and those type of things. But we will have a booth set up there with some information.
So come out, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be
Well,
fun.
Clay, thanks so much for giving us a behind the scenes look at the Signature Solar retail store. If you guys are in Sulphur Springs, be sure and come and check it out. But as we prepare to close, let's tell them where they can find you. So where is the Signature Solar retail store located?
We are located in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Our address is 614 Bill Bradford Road in Sulphur Springs.
And what are your hours?
We're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Is there anything customers should know before they come to visit you, or if they are troubleshooting a system, what should they come prepared with?
If you have questions, call in. We're here to help. We're here to answer the phones. Anything before you come, especially if you're making a trip to come up. If you're planning on leaving with products, bring an appropriate sized vehicle. Bring a trailer, bring a truck. We don't want you to drive all this way and then have to send you home because the panels wouldn't fit in the back.
That's
Or
great
something.
advice.
So yeah, and you can call in and we can give you pallet size measurements and all of those things of what you need.
Great advice. So for those of you watching, if you're looking for expert advice or hands-on support, or just want to pick up your solar components in person, visit the Signature Solar retail store. There you can meet Clay, you can meet Paige, you can meet Cadence, and maybe even get some installation tips and tricks from Mike. If needed, you can find more details out about the store at signaturesolar.com. Just visit our dedicated tab called the retail store. And we want to hear from you. If you have had an experience with our retail store, let us know what your experience was like in the comments below. Also, let us know what other locations that you would like to see a Signature Solar retail store in. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook, and we'll see you right here next week on Amp Up Solar Talk. We'll see you next time.